Hi guys and gals, welcome to Froggy's Garage. What I'm going to do today is show you how to install front struts on a 1995 BMW M3, and here we go. So let's get the car up in the air. We're just going to jack up one corner. Okay, we've got the left front up in the air, we've got the parking brake on, we've got it in gear, we've got a chock in the back there. Car's not going anywhere. Wow, look at that. Brand new discs, some new front pads. How'd that happen? Oh, I did that. There's another video if you're looking for a front brake job on a 95 BMW. Check it out. Disconnect the brake pad sensor on the driver's side. You don't have this on the passenger side. I use some needle nose pliers with a little curve, and just be gentle because you can reuse this again. If you break it, then you'll have to buy a new one when you put it back together. Remove the caliper, the brake caliper. There's two bolts holding the caliper bracket on. I think I'm going to be able to leave the caliper in the bracket. We'll see. Anyway, two bolts. Make it easy on yourself and turn the wheel in the car so that the wheels turn to the right and the caliper bracket bolts are exposed. Froggy's under the car now. I'm putting parts of my body under the car that I want to preserve, so I've got a jack stand under there. Be safe. Use jack stands. Take the wheel speed sensor off. It's a 4mm Allen, and take that and take your brake pad wear sensor and drape them out of the way over the control arm. Take the nut off the link to the control arm. That link is attached to your strut, so you're going to take that off. And then I'm hoping I'm going to be able to swing that big heavy brake caliper around and hang it on the front side of the strut. You'll need to put a bottle jack under the lower ball joint and jack up on that lower ball joint. You need to put some compression back into the spring so that you can get this sway bar link off. And it's not too much, but just there. See, it's loose now, so I should be able to gun that off. I think you're going to need a gun to get this off. I tried just turning it off with a ratchet, and of course it's a ball joint, so it spins around. The other side of it's spinning around there. I don't know if there's some flats on the other side that you can grab, but I'm getting it off with a gun. It does actually have some flats on the other side, so if you've got a skinny enough wrench to get in on those flats, then you can hold the other side and get it off with a regular ratchet, but trust me, it's easier with an impact gun. If you spray a little WD-40 on these grommets, they're easier to pop out of the little slots that they fit into, and then just get a screwdriver behind them like this, and then just lever them out. I realized I wasn't going to be able to move that caliper around the back of the strut. So what I did, I took a coat hanger and I'm hanging it from the control arm, the lower control arm. You can see it doesn't have pressure on the hose. You do not want to put pressure on this hose. It's a rubber hose. You could damage it inside and it'll look okay outside, but it'll be damaged inside. So always hang the caliper. It's a heavy caliper. Now you're going to see different procedures on how to get this strut out. Here's what I do. I've got everything done on the bottom except three big nuts. One on the other side, and one here. Those three hold the strut to the knuckle. I left the tie rod and attached. I've got as much droop. Droop means the suspension is down as far as it can go. Alright? I take out my three 3 nuts on the top here that hold the top seat, and it's loose. I leave the center nut on there for now. It's loose now. There's no tension on the spring. The strut length itself is holding the tension. There is tension on the spring. The strut length itself, the length of extension of the strut, is holding it, but I think I'm going to be able to get it out if I just undo these 3 nuts. Let's give it a try. Okay, success. I just took these 1 there. No, wait a minute. That's the one for the link for the sway bar down here. 1 going crossways, and those 2 going into the knuckle there, there, and there. Just took those 3 out. The top comes out. Everything comes out. Now, what's so special about the way Froggy did it? A couple of things. Did I have to take off the tie rod end? No. Did I have to compress this coil spring to get the strut out? No, I didn't have to. Now I can do that off the car, which is much easier than trying to get one of those. I don't even know how I would have done that to get this coil spring compressor tool. I don't know how I would have got that in there. I tried it and it wasn't going in there because it's got a tight space to get that in there. So anyway, it's out. All I got to do now, I can compress this spring, take the top off, put the new strut on, and stick it back up there. So let's do some more work. So before you get started, lay the old part next to the new part. Give them a good look over, make sure that they're the same. Looks like they are. Of course, this Monroe is compressed because it's got a little compression device on there for shipping, and this one is this shock is expanded. So don't pay any attention to that. Just look at this section here. So they're the same. So now what I'm going to do is compress this spring, take the top off, put the spring on the Monroe, put the top back on, and then I'm ready to go back in. Froggy just invented something here. I recall when I was compressing this spring last time to get it on, to put this spring on this strut, that it was rolling around and giving me a hard time. So I just got a piece of 4x4 cut to length and a couple of lag screws, and I lag this thing down so that it can't go anywhere. So a little tip I thought I'd pass on to you. Kind of like that. It's cool. Okay, let me show you this setup. I got my block on the bottom so it won't turn, won't walk off on me. I put this up on a tire so that I could get a good angle on it. And these are my compressors. See how I've got them set up? They got to be 180 degrees opposite each other, but they'll be on different coils. Well, it's one continuous wire, so they'll look a little different, but you want to equally compress, equally. You don't want to do all one side and then do the other side. So if you've got an air gun or a ratchet that goes that works good, you can sorry, I'm trying to roll here. I'll show you the air gun. That's all I'm doing. Compressing the spring. A little on each side. Got it? Okay. Well, that's about as much as I can compress it, and I think it'll work. Remember to take a big bite of the spring, as low as you can go, as high as you can go on one side, and then on the other side you won't be able to do that as much, but try to get as big a bite as you can. This does feel loose. Now I'm going to try and take this top nut off, If you've got a gun, you should be able to gun it off easy. Most of these shocks have some flats where you can try and grab the flat and turn the nut. You know, I don't even know how you would do that without a gun, so I'm going to gun it off. Because how are you going to reach in there if you've got a wrench holding the rod steady? You don't want to put anything on this. You don't want to put vice grips or channel locks on this, because you're going to scratch it and then you're going to blow a seal, so don't touch this. Anyway, here we go, gun it off. Okay, I got it out. It wasn't easy because this nut doesn't have the ribs going all the way to the top. See, it's got this little rounded part on it, and I've got this adjuster sticking out of here, so it was hard to get the socket. Had to be in the anvil, this is called an anvil here, enough so that I could gun it, and then it had to be thin enough to fit in this hole. I had some other sockets, but they were too thick-walled. This is, I guess you'd call it a thin-walled socket to get in the hole, so you kind of got to have the right set of tools here to do this. But anyway, I got it off. There you go. So now we can put the new strut into the spring and put it back together. Okay? I'll show you some more. There's a rubber seat on the bottom and a rubber seat on the top that you're going to reuse because the new struts don't come with those rubber seats. Underneath that washer there's ball bearings. This top part has ball bearings so that it can have some movement. So make sure you don't lose any of that. I like to measure the piston shafts because it's an indication of the quality. This Monroe is 22 millimeters, and the Coney, I'll check it when I get it off. Yeah, the Coney is 20. No, just a hair under 22, maybe 21 and 8/10, so almost the same. Monroe wins by a half a tenth. Okay, Froggy says okay a lot, doesn't he? Anyway, we got rubber on the bottom, rubber on the top. We got a new. We reused all this hardware for this top piece, except we got a new nut that came with the strut, and we gunned it back on there. Worked real good. There's no torque spec on that. You just gun it until it's tight. There's no play, but obviously it still can move because it's on those ball bearings. Now we're going to lay it out and remove the spring compressors. We want to make sure that the bottom end of the coil and the top end of the coil sit down nicely in those little pockets of the rubber where the rubbers go. Okay? There we have our new strut installed, spring installed, the compressors off, ready to put it back in. Okay, we're back in there. All we have to do is put on the caliper and a few wires. So I showed you how that came off. I'm not going to film how it goes back on there. You guys and gals are smart enough to figure that out. This is a wrap for front strut installation on an e36 BMW. Probably applies to a lot of other cars with front strut type suspension. If you have any questions, post them up on the video and I'll get back to you. This is Froggy saying see you later. Thanks for visiting Froggy's Garage. Have a nice day.